No one noticed Elias Vorn when he arrived at Dock Ring 7. That was normal. Elias was used to being invisible. The dock was loud and bright. Giant ships floated like metal cities. Workers shouted orders. Robots carried fuel cells bigger than houses. This place served kings, warlords, and empires, but never men like Elias. He was just a ship mechanic. His clothes were old. His tool bag was patched many times. His hands were scarred from years of fixing broken things that others had given up on. Elias believed one simple thing. If something is broken, it can be fixed, even if the universe said otherwise. That day, alarms screamed across the dock. A massive royal ship drifted in, its hull burned black, engines flickering like dying stars. Golden symbols marked its sides. Ancient, powerful, feared. People froze. That's the Queen's ship. Why is it damaged? No one touch it. Royal engineers only. Soldiers rushed in, forming walls of steel and plasma rifles. Inside the ship sat Queen Althena of Virex, ruler of 7 systems. Cold, brilliant, untouchable, and smiling, because the ship was damaged on purpose. This was her final test. For years, nobles, warriors, and scientists had tried to win her hand. All had failed. They wanted power, not partnership. Pride, not duty. So the Queen designed a test no one expected. She broke her own ship. Not with weapons, but with logic-defying failures. Systems that should not break. Engines that ignored laws of physics. Problems that had no clear answer. She wanted to see who would try anyway. Royal engineers worked for hours. Then days. Then they quit. It's impossible, they said. The Queen waited. That's when Elias spoke. May I look at it? Silence fell. A soldier laughed. Did you hear him? Another sneered. Go home, mechanic. Elias looked at the ship. His eyes narrowed, not in fear but curiosity. I won't charge, he said calmly. I just want to understand. The Queen heard this through the ship's sensors. Interesting. She ordered, let him in. The soldiers stared. Your Majesty. Let him in. Elias entered the ship alone. Inside, the air hummed wrong. Lights flickered in strange patterns. The engine core twisted space around it. Any normal man would panic. Elias smiled softly. So, this is the problem. He sat down, opened his tools, and began talking to the ship, not out loud but with his hands. He traced energy flows. He listened to vibrations. He felt heat changes through metal. Hours passed. Outside, people watched in confusion. He's still alive? Royal engineers failed. How is he standing? Inside the command chamber, Queen Althena observed him closely. He did not curse. He did not complain. He did not ask who she was. He treated the royal ship like an old friend. At one point, Elias whispered, You're tired, aren't you? He rerouted power. Not stronger, but gentler. The impossible engine stabilized. Warning lights went dark. The ship healed. A shockwave of silence hit the dock. It's fixed. No way. That problem took our best minds. Elias wiped sweat from his brow. It'll hold. But you should let it rest. Queen Althena finally appeared before him. Tall. Calm. Dangerous. Why did you do it for free? She asked. Elias shrugged. It needed help. She studied him. Do you know who I am? Yes, he said honestly. And you are not afraid? Elias thought for a moment. You didn't threaten me. The ship did. The Queen laughed. A real laugh. For the first time in years. That night, the Queen made a public announcement. The ship was a test. He passed. Gasps echoed across the station. Before Elias could understand what was happening, royal guards escorted him. Not to prison, but to royal quarters. The Queen stood beside him before the galaxy. Elias Vorn, she declared, has proven wisdom without pride, skill without greed, and courage without violence. Elias whispered, I think there's been a mistake. She smiled. Oh, mechanic, she said softly. The test is not over. The doors closed behind them. Far away, ancient systems awakened. Because the Queen did not just test husbands. She tested humanity. And Elias Vorn had just stepped into a destiny that would shake empires. Elias did not sleep that night. The room they gave him was larger than his old workshop. Soft lights changed color with his breath. The bed felt too perfect, like it did not belong to someone like him. Outside the window, stars moved slowly, like they were watching. A soft voice broke the silence. Do you know why you are here? Elias turned. Queen Althena stood near the window, her hands behind her back. I fixed your ship, Elias said. That's all I did. The queen nodded. That is what you think you did. She waved her hand. The air shimmered. Images appeared. Galaxies burning, fleets destroyed, planets silent and dead. The galaxy is old, she said. And tired. Elias swallowed. What does that have to do with me? Althena looked at him carefully. Everything. She showed him another image. Alien rulers sitting on floating thrones, faces calm, eyes empty. They are powerful, she said. Too powerful. They stopped trying. They stopped fixing. They replace instead of repair. Elias remembered the ship. How others said it was impossible. You didn't replace it, the queen continued. You listened. You adjusted. You cared. She stepped closer. That is a human trait. Elias frowned. Humans aren't special. Althena smiled softly. That is why you are dangerous. Before Elias could reply, alarms exploded through the palace. Red lights flashed. A voice shouted. Unknown fleet detected. The stars outside twisted. Dark ships appeared, sharp, black, silent. The Car Dominion, the queen said calmly. They sensed the test ending. Elias stared. Test? They test every species, she said. They remove leaders. They erase worlds that no longer adapt. Explosions rocked the station. Guards rushed in. Your Majesty, we must evacuate. Althena shook her head. No. We finish this. She turned to Elias. Come with me. They moved through hidden corridors. The walls opened like living things. Elias struggled to keep up. Why me, he asked. I'm not a soldier. That's the point, she replied. They reached a deep chamber. In the center stood a strange device, old human-made. Elias stopped. I built something like this once, he whispered. Althena's eyes widened. Impossible. Elias stepped closer. His hands moved on instinct. No, it's unfinished. Whoever made this lacked patience. The device began to glow. Outside, the first enemy ships fired. The station shook violently. What is this? Elias asked. The Human Response Corps, Althena said. Built centuries ago. Humans vanished before finishing it. Elias worked faster. Sweat poured down his face. He rewired parts using simple logic, not complex math. Why didn't anyone fix this? He asked. They tried, the queen said. But they followed rules too closely. Elias smiled grimly. Rules break too. The core activated. A pulse spread through space. Enemy weapons failed. Ships froze mid-attack. Silence. Then chaos. They're retreating, a guard shouted. Althena stared at Elias like she was seeing him for the first time. You did in minutes what no empire could do in centuries. Elias stepped back. I just fixed it. The queen knelt before him. The guards froze in shock. Rise, Elias said quickly. Please don't do that. She stood, eyes shining. The husband test was a lie. I was testing survival partners. She took his hand. And you passed. Elias pulled back. I didn't agree to this. You will, she said gently, because they will come again. Stronger. The stars outside shifted. Far away, ancient machines awakened. And deep within Elias, something stirred. Something humans had forgotten. Not power, but endurance. The galaxy did not forget what happened. It remembered. The pulse from the Human Response Corps spread far beyond the station. Ancient satellites woke up. Old human codes activated. Systems that had slept for centuries opened their eyes. The Car Dominion watched in fear. This is not possible, their commanders said. Humans are extinct. They were wrong. Humans were not extinct. They were waiting. Elias stood alone in the core chamber. The lights around him felt warm now, familiar, like a workshop back home. Queen Althena entered quietly. You feel it too, she said. Elias nodded. It's like the galaxy is listening. Althena touched the glowing core. Humans built systems that respond to intent, not commands. Emotion, not authority. Elias frowned. That sounds risky. That is why it works, she replied. Outside, ships gathered. Not for war, but for answers. Alien leaders demanded to know how a single human stopped the Dominion. Althena faced the council screens. Humans do not dominate, she said. They adapt. They endure. And when something breaks, they fix it. The council laughed nervously. The Car Dominion attacked again. This time with everything. Dark matter cannons tore through space. Reality bent. Stars dimmed. Elias felt pain, not physical but emotional. The core reacted to him. It's linked to you, he realized. Yes, Althena said. Because you chose to help without reward. Elias took a deep breath. He remembered his old shop. Broken engines. Lost hope. Small victories. He spoke softly. Let's hold. The core responded. Human systems across the galaxy synchronized, not by force but cooperation. Old colonies awakened. Automated shipyards began repairs instead of building weapons. Enemy weapons failed again. Not because of power, but because the galaxy refused to support them. The Dominion fleet collapsed, not destroyed but disabled. Their leader appeared on screen shaking. What are you? It hissed. Elias answered simply. A mechanic. Silence followed. The Dominion withdrew forever. After the battle, celebrations filled the station. Music echoed. Lights danced. Elias stood at the edge, uncomfortable. Althena joined him. They want you to rule with me, she said. Elias looked at her. I don't want power. She nodded. Good. That's why you deserve it. He thought for a long moment. I'll stay, he said slowly. But not as a ruler. As a fixer. Althena smiled. Then I choose you, she said. Not as a husband. As a partner. They stood together as equals. The galaxy changed its view of humans that day. Not conquerors. Not gods. But something far stronger. Helpers. Builders. Fixers. And somewhere in a small dock far from palaces, a sign lit up again. Human repair shop, we don't quit.